interesting people and find out how we can do things just a little bit differently and be just a bit more creative to offer a different perspective on life. I have a very special guest for you today. It's Chef Babette. Now, Chef Babette is a firm believer that we should all eat consciously. She's a committed and active health advocate who promotes successful aging throughout all age groups. Chef Babette's personal journey to health began after years of suffering from digestive issues, asthma, and skin disorders. A pivotal point in her transformation came after reading the book Fit for Life by Harvey and Marilyn Diamond. She made a conscious decision to eat for the sake of nutrition, which began her journey towards self-healing. She soon became a chemist in the kitchen and spent years perfecting recipes, which allowed her to eat what she loved without the guilt or associated diseases or ailments. Now, Chef Babette has appeared on BuzzFeed videos. She's been on the Steve Harvey Show, Home and Family and the Hallmark Channel, and HBO in Insecure, and many other channels as well. So welcome, Chef Babette.
Hello, everyone. Nice to be with you today, and thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time and joining me. And as I said before off camera, when I saw you on the Little White Lie Network with Karen Glasser, I went, yes. I talk to this woman. She's amazing.
I appreciate that, sweetheart. That's nice of you.
I am interested in a bit about your journey when you were saying, because that's what caught my eye when I was reading your bio about your health issues with dis-ease, with asthma, with skin conditions. And I know from personal experience, I was diagnosed with asthma in 2009, and I said to the doctor, will I grow out of it? And they said, no, you're going to have to manage it.
Wow. Well, you know, I came from some pretty humble beginnings, as one would say. My mother was considered a cook. She did domestic work, and one of her duties at work was to prepare meals for the family. And she just really prided herself on being one of the greatest cooks on the planet. She loved refined sugar, and she pretty much fed us the standard American diet because she didn't really know any better. None of us did. It's the way Americans eat. But it didn't work too good for myself. I had eczema, asthma. Asthma was really pretty rough for me in that my mother was a cigarette smoker, along with all the dairy that I ate, and along with having a cat. There were several times that I would wake up in the middle of the night not being able to breathe. And my mother thought it was the dust on the carpet on the floor. She was ignorant to a lot of what was going on. And so consequently, I suffered a lot as a child. I even into adulthood, digesting food was very, very difficult for me. I suffered with skin issues along with the asthma, what was it? Eczema, and then I had bad zits, bad skin problems from the sugar. So I attribute the dairy to the asthma, and the bad skin. My back, I couldn't even wear anything backless. My skin was such a mess, and that was all the refined sugar. So I was pretty much addicted to that. So life was kind of rough as a kid.
Yeah. So when did you read this book? And
well, that came years later, my dear. I went through a lot of hell prior to reading that book. I met my current husband in 1990, and that is when he shared the book Fit for Life by Harvey and Marilyn Diamond, and then the Mucusless Diet Healing System by Professor Arnold Ehret. Those two books saved my life. Seriously. I transitioned after I read those books. And I can only say I give thanks for the knowledge that that helped me make the transition, because my life has not been the same.
So transitioning from
standard American diet to a vegan lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. I went totally vegan, got off dyes, preservative, refined sugar. Refined sugar was rough, but I understood what it was doing to me. I happened to also read the book Sugar Blues. I don't know if you've ever read that book. I've forgotten the author now. It was Duffy or somebody like that, but it's Sugar Blues. That book explained to me why I had the zits. And once I gave up the refined sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and all of that stuff, I started clearing up. I mean, I'm 69 years old. I'll be 70 years old this year.
I know, that's amazing. Amazing. Total inspiration.
It's incredible. It really is incredible. And so that is another reason to share the journey. To share the journey. It's important, because we have another way. We don't have to go take the route that we've been taking. There is another path.
There is. I'd just like to shout out to Kathy Baker saying healing from the inside out.
Yes.
And Sonia, welcome to Sonia. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Sonia.
I'm hoping you're both well. It's great to see you today, Sonia. It's great to see you as well. If you do have any questions for Chef Babette, feel free as we go through this conversation to pop them in the comments, because I'm sure you would love to answer them. I've got dozens that I want to ask you, because I know you're doing some amazing stuff with nutrition and exercise. And as I said before, with when you were talking to Karen, and you said that you had this goal to be better,
yes,
70 than you were ever in your life.
Isn't that to aspire to be better at 70?
Yeah.
Isn't that great to be, and to feel like, yes, I'm going to achieve this.
Yes.
In December 2020, I'm at the way that I'm working right now, I will probably enter a competition. Yeah. And that's at 70 years old. But it's a goal, and it's something to aspire to, and it's also something to have other people inspired by.
Yes.
And you know, we need to help each other. We need to help each other through this.
Yeah, I think that's amazing, and I'm totally inspired. And I think just circle back to the food, the nutrition for a moment, because I do want to touch on that as well as the like to know more about the competition.
Right.
But when you were, I know that you have your own restaurants.
Yes.
So share a little bit about what you're doing has morphed into, or what you've learned has morphed into what you're doing.
Well, basically, my husband and I decided, well, when I met him, it was he cooked my first vegan meal for me. It was super simple, amazing, but I didn't feel the way that I normally felt after I ate. I had a terrible time digesting food. Fit for Life taught me that a big bulk of what I was doing was combining my food wrong. And so as I learned how to eat properly, and I got rid of some of the food that I had ingested previously, life became so much better. I could actually digest food. And so Ron and I decided, why don't we share because I'm not a trained chef, but it was food that we could share with people. We figured people would like it. It was just regular food that I grew up with, but we just got rid of dyes, preservatives, sugar, fat, animal protein, all of that kind of stuff. We got rid of that. And the food tastes great. You didn't even miss the meat. You know what I mean? And so
actually,
yeah, we decided, yeah, let's go with this. And one thing led to another. We wind up with a food cart, a 15-foot food cart, and we served food on the parking lot of Agape Spiritual Center. I don't know if you're familiar with Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith.
Yes, I am. Yes.
Are you?
I've
Well,
followed
he
him for years.
Yes, in Culver City, he had a spiritual center there. And we were on the parking lot with this 15-foot cart that we had built for 6 years. And after services, we'd have block-long lines. And so we kind of did, you know, we knew then that people liked the product. Next thing you know, we found the building. It was available. The landlord gave us a great deal to get in. Took us 4 years to open. However, we stuck in there. We opened in 2008, July 1st. And here we are coming up on what would this be, our 12th year?
Wow.
I know, in a community that nobody thought a vegan restaurant would last.
Yeah.
So you're still there.
Way ahead of your time.
Yes. So good.
That is fantastic. I know. Just my mum actually has just released. Her and two of her siblings have written a book on the life of my grandmother, and growing up in a small country town in rural Australia, and I'm reading through it and I'm going, oh my God! Like my grandmother grew up vegan. But really? And they actually called them the mad family. They said they were the mad family because they ate, this is back in the 30s and 40s, because they ate cabbage. But how that happened was my grandmother's brother, my great uncle, had a skin condition, and he had the associated, I think it was psoriasis, and he had the is it the arthritis that goes with it? And he couldn't stand up. He was wheelchair bound. He was in his teens, and he was just basically hobbled or bedridden. They changed their diet. They'd actually read a book that was early 1900s, changed their diet, and within a matter of months, he was actually up and about, and he lived to a ripe old age. Became a beekeeper, and then from then, my grandmother kept the vegan diet.
That's a beautiful story.
But they all thought she was nuts. So well, some people
think I'm kind of crazy.
But I think it's great. I think that, you know, sort of coming from, you know, sort of that sort of background where as you know, the generations progress, we got sucked into mainstream.
Oh, yes.
And, you know, so, yeah. So, we've got, Sonia's got a question for you. She says, hi, Chef. She's had a lot of physical issues and only have one kidney, but a low immune system and a lot of trouble with hip pain. Is there any advice you can give me to help me out?
Well, this is what I always share with people. I have to say this. I am not a licensed physician. I have my certificate in juicing. I have a high school diploma. I own my own restaurant, but I do not give out medical advice. I don't suggest anything to anybody. I always suggest you see your primary healthcare physician for any medical issues. But I will tell you this. Life begets life. I believe that movement and a proper diet has helped me. And that is the only thing that I can truthfully share with the masses, is what I've experienced that has worked well for me. And that is why I believe plant-based. I don't believe that plant-based is better for the human to ingest. I know it is, because it works. Every time I talk to anybody that has completely changed and flipped over, they feel better. So my thing is, be careful, move as much as you can, and eat life. Eat life. Try to get as many nutrients from your food as possible. I start my day juicing, and I love chlorophyll. It's what humans need. So basically, at 69 years old, It's about making each meal count nutritionally.
Mm.
I don't have a lot of time to eat junk for a year. I don't have that kind of time. Longevity is not as important to me as a good quality of life.
I love it.
Thank you. I want to continue to be able to move. If I get down, I want to be able to get up on my own.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing that I can say to you, make sure that you speak to a healthcare professional and service your body with nutrition.
Yes.
And movement.
Yes.
I can't give you that.
Yeah. No, I love that advice. I absolutely do. And I'm going, all these questions keep running through my head. I'm going, oh, so much I want to ask you. But I do want to talk to you about your the juicings one. I would love to know what your routine is, but we can. But the challenge, can we circle back to that? There's lots of stuff I want to circle back to. That the challenge that you have set for yourself at age 70.
I know, 70.
So and
it's a big challenge.
And I've seen some of the things that you're doing, because you just look absolutely amazing and you just radiate health, and just it's just amazing. But I think so to give hope, I think we're taught, and I'd have to say I love my sister, but she goes, I'm getting old. No, and I'm thinking, well, saying that, actually, she's 5 years younger than me, and I just refuse to buy into it. So I just go, it's a lot of mindset. But how do you set up your daily routine? What sort of things do you do, and what's the challenge that you want to set for yourself?
Well, first of all, at 69 years old and having a restaurant, and we're still open during all of this. So
yes.
I pay attention to what's up with this virus. And I know that people my age, we are, we're at risk of getting this thing. So basically, I'm up like this morning because of my neighbors. I was up at 1:15, but I'm normally up at around between 2 and 2:30 in the morning. Since we're locked in the house, I try to get a workout in before I go to work. When I get to work, I start my day off with juice. So it gets me going. It's the meal that I need to get going. My go-to drink in the morning is cilantro. I love bunches of cilantro.
So can I just say that cilantro in Australian is
what is it? It's coriander. Yeah, I've heard that. So thank you for
that's okay. It took me a long time.
Coriander or cilantro.
Once I figured that out, my recipes tasted a whole lot better.
And I use a lot of ginger. I like it spicy.
Ooh, yum.
Lemon or lime. If you're not into lemon, lime works perfectly. Mm-hmm. If I really want to sweeten it up and jazz it up, I throw pineapple in there.
Nice.
And so that's coriander, ginger, pineapple, lemon, and green apples.
And you do, and you cold press?
Yeah, I totally separate the fiber from the juice. Now, the reason I don't blend this is because I want the nutrients to reach the cellular level right away. So I don't want to have to go through a digestive process to go dealing with the pulp. So I love to cold press it, get it just juice. And that's how I start my day. But of course, I'm prepping food, so I've got a taste here and there. But as long as I've got the movement in, and then I've got my juice in, by the time my employees are coming to work to start their day, I've already been home. Protecting myself from them. So I leave everybody at work and I go home. So I usually have a very, unless I have interviews lined up or my manager and I have things lined up, I pretty much take it easy now at home. But if I don't get my workout in the morning, I definitely get it in when I get back home in the afternoon. I'm the kind of person that I'll make a handful of nuts a meal.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, at my age, I feel like nutrition is everything.
Yes.
So I try to make each meal count nutritionally. That's important to me. Mm-hmm. I just want to get the nutrients. I eat basically uncooked food, but I eat cooked food. I have a restaurant. We prep cooked food. Yeah. But I love to eat food raw, in the raw, because then I know I'm not killing the live enzymes, and we need those.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, it's pretty simple. And it works for my system. I don't have a problem moving. I wake up at between 2 and 2:30, ready to go to the bathroom. Before I leave my apartment, I've probably been to the bathroom about 3 or 4 times, and that's no lie. That means that everything is every day is coming out of it. And you need to feel that way. You need to know that if you eat every day, you got to poop every day.
You got to poop
several times a day. You know what I mean? I used to be constipated a lot, and that's unhealthy. It's not good.
No.
So I'm real conscientious about life. I know that life begets life, death begets death. Why on earth, if I can nourish myself without killing anything, why on earth would I kill it to eat it dead?
Yeah. Yeah.
The other thing, I had a conversation earlier about people and packaged foods. We eat a lot of things in packages. The only place that's really alive to me is the produce section. You get these packages. Some people eat out of boxes and cans and jars. Period. Over and out.
Yeah.
You turn it over, you look at the ingredients, and you've got 2 paragraphs of words you can't pronounce. If I ask you what you're eating, you do not know.
It's interesting that since we've been in, well, we call it the lockdown, since we've been in sort of isolating ourselves, that and we will still go out for shopping, except for now, for the next little while for us. But we go to the shops, and because my eating or my family here, we eat fresh. We don't go up and down the aisles, and all the white flour, the sugar. There's no pasta left, and I'm just looking. The fruit and veggies are full. There's no shortage. There's no shortage of real food, which is just blowing me away.
It's so true. You are absolutely right. And I just really want to tell people, just change your palate, change your mind, get into eating food that has not been manufactured in some laboratory, thought up in a laboratory, and then they put it in boxes and jars. They lace peanut butter. We were talking about that today. I went to Savon's one day. I was looking for a jar of organic peanut butter to make some cookies. And every jar of peanut butter had refined sugar in it. That's addicting, and it's not good for you. So really, live food is what we should be eating. And so I try to do that.
I used to make my own macadamia butter. It was very expensive. Food processor. There
you go.
You can make your own peanut butter too. Just Deidre's here. Hello, Deidre. She's saying congratulations for having such a great attitude about health and life. You certainly do glow. I absolutely could not agree more. Totally. So the other thing I just say, if you are watching this for the live or the replay, I think that there's probably, there's 2.7 billion people on Facebook, and I would say 2.65 at least billion of these people would need to know this information. So please make sure at least your family and friends see this.
Just share, yeah.
Because if somebody sees it and goes, oh, my God, I'm inspired by Chef Babette, and start to make some small changes, seriously, you're going to enjoy your life a whole lot more.
You really will. You really will. The quality of life is everything. It really is. I mean, longevity has its place, but I mean, who wants to live to be 105 flat on your back? And you can't do anything. You can't move, and too many of us are in that place right now. Yeah. And a lot of it is self-induced. A lot of what we go through, we've done to ourselves. And it's unfortunate but we have. And it's just about us changing our minds, you know, and connecting with this whole thing. This, like that was the one thing that I learned as I transitioned, was that I am connected to everything. I'm one with all of it. I don't believe in colors of people's colors. I can't even, that doesn't even make sense to me. We're all one. We all came from the same intelligence. It all created all of us. And if you believe that it is everything, then why would you have a problem with any of us? We're all the same. And that is why I just believe that we should just, I don't know, do our best to appreciate and love the fact that we have an opportunity in this form to travel through this human thing called life and experience it. But we should love one another, and we should appreciate having this life. You know, humans are incredible. There's so much that we can do, but we've got to love every sentient being on the planet. They belong here too. You eat bats and you get coronavirus. That's probably ugly, but I'm just saying the truth. Come on now, we got meat packing houses and everybody in there has corona. It's like the animals are like, give us a break. Give us a break.
Well, I tell you, it really has been great for the environment. But what I want to do is I want to know what your challenge is. We're nearly out of time, but I want to know what challenge, because I want to follow you. I'm already following you, but I want to, and I'm inspired. So yeah, and totally I am. I just love to know, like, because you're so good. I mean, I think I work out, but I don't really.
So basically, what my plan is, I thought, now my upper body is always, I've always, you know, my core and my upper body, but my legs were not right where I needed them to be, my glutes and all that. So I thought, you know what? I could spend the next 6-7 months working real hard on the entire body, and perhaps join a competition, of course, in my age group. And because that was my promise to myself. This body is going to be better. Of course, always the mind better. Always the mind.
It always starts with the mind, doesn't it?
So this body is going to be better by December 7th, 2020. And to motivate myself, I thought about competing. And so that's what I think I'm going to do.
Well, I think that you're going to do it. I know you're going to do it. And I entertained that thought a few years ago, and then I'm now. And then you said, no, inspired. That's so inspiring that you're doing it.
I want to inspire you to join me. Do it.
Deidre is saying she shared. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And
thank you for sharing.
There's like, you've got your Aussie fan base starting right here, right now. We've got, and Kathy is just saying she suffers from diverticulitis. Not nice when it feels.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Ouch. And Nigel here as well saying, very interesting. Thank you.
Well, you know, do the juicing and heal yourself as much as possible. Eat life. Just think, I'm eating life.
Yeah, yeah. So my mum would say, don't eat anything that hasn't seen the sunshine.
I love it. I love your mommy.
It was handed down from her mum. So you do have a book, and what I'll do is, where can we get that from? And what is it?
Off Amazon. It's called Cash In on Cashews. Now listen, you guys, I know I need to have a savory cookbook out, but I was addicted to sugar as a kid. And I got onto agave nectar, alternative sweetener, and the cashew nut. And the cashew nut, oh, it's such a wonderful nut. Come on now. You can soak that cashew nut, and you can turn that cashew nut into any flavor you want it to be. I wound up making all types of desserts with the cashew nut. So it's called Cash In on Cashews, Amazon.
Well, I do protein balls with cashew nuts, and Yes, I love it. I will be going and having a look for sure. But thank you so much for joining me, Chef Babette.
This was so fun.
I appreciate you. I do appreciate your time and the fact that you've shared or invested some of that 30 minutes of your Saturday evening with us.
Yes.
And so
and now we're getting ready to work out real hard.
We'll let you go and do your workout. Thank you.
We gotta stay in touch. I want to, when we come over there, I gotta come see you.
Oh, yes, yes.
Please,
let
me know where you are. Bye, everybody.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Be safe. Wash your hands.
But, yeah.
Practice social